See, when I'm not making videos on YouTube, I'm most likely on Instagram and on Twitter. Quick plug, follow me on Instagram at bsouls. I'm waiting. And I've seen a lot of takes by a lot of people on these two apps. Takes that are said by very influential people that get reiterated by their followers throughout the whole app. And I'm not gonna lie, some of them have really been getting on my nerves because of how many people are saying them, despite them being very flawed arguments. So expect this video to be a little ranty, but I got a lot to get off my chest this video. Here are some of the most annoying NBA takes that we just gotta stop. We just gotta stop with it. But before we go on, let me know in the comment section of some of the NBA takes that you think are really annoying, that you don't want to hear anymore. And leave a like on this video as well. Let's get this video to 4,000 likes. I know that's a lot, but you know what? I trust y'all. Okay, the first thing we're gonna cover today is Dame is slept on. This is probably the most annoying take to me. And it's not because I don't like Dame. I got no hate for Dame. He's one of my favorite players in the league, a great player, a top 20 player, all of that. But this idea that Dame is slept on is just so annoying. Because how much praise can this man get until he's not slept on? The man got on the All-Star team, got All-NBA first team, got MVP consideration, nearly unanimously considered as a top 20 player in the league. But nah, he slept on. Why is he slept on? Because most people consider Stephen Curry, Kyrie Irving, Russell Westbrook, Chris Paul better than Dame? That's not sleeping on Dame when there are sound arguments for those guys being ahead of Dame. It's just that he's a great player in the golden era of point guards. That's like saying Patrick Ewing was slept on in the 90s. No, it's just that guys like Hakeem Olajuwon, Shaquille O'Neal, and David Robinson were playing at the same time and were definitively better than Ewing. Doesn't take away from Ewing's greatness, that's just the way it was. But you know what, after asking people on Twitter, on Instagram, and in the YouTube community page about takes that, annoy them, I feel like a lot of people are catching on to this. But the They Stay Sleep On train does not sleep. And the next target on their list is Kemba Walker. Look again, Kemba Walker. Good player, one of the best point guards in the league, has amazing handles, and I don't think he's ever had the opportunity that these other point guards have had to compete at the highest level. However, that does not make him slept on. He's just not better than the guys I've already named, plus Ben Simmons, Lillard, and John Wall. He just isn't. And that does not mean he's slept on. He's just not better than those guys. Look, my thing is, we just gotta stop confusing being underrated and balling out despite not being better than your peers. Because Damian Lillard was balling out last year, but he was still not better than Kyrie, Russell Westbrook, Chris Paul, and Stephen Curry in my eyes, and in a lot of people's eyes. And the same goes for Kemba with more point guards ahead of him. The next take we gotta stop doing is the better all-around player take. Outside of scoring, what does this guy do better than that guy mentality? Because 90% of the time, the guy talking about that only thinks of basketball as 3 stats: points, rebounds, and assists. It's just annoying because it's obvious that some of y'all either don't watch the games or y'all do watch the games, but then you look at the box score to convey something that did not happen in the game. For one, this is not always the case, because let's look at a player like Ben Simmons compared to Stephen Curry. Ben Simmons is a better rebounder, a better passer, a better defender, but if you say Ben Simmons is better than Stephen Curry, I'm gonna look at you like this. You played yourself. Why? Because the gap in scoring and other aspects that aren't seen on a stat sheet simply aren't taken into account and supersede the gap in the categories that make Ben Simmons more versatile. Another example: Kyrie Irving and Kyle Lowry. You can look at me and tell me that according to the stats that Kyle Lowry is a better passer, a better rebounder, and a better defender. But what I'll tell you is that Kyrie averaging 8 more points on such better efficiency supersedes the 1 rebound, 2 assists, and slightly better defense that Lowry has. And also, this argument doesn't take into account performances in general. Because who cares if you're a more well-rounded player when you're not showing up when it counts? On the other side, there's people out there that don't know what significantly more or less means. Have y'all ever seen those posts comparing two players with a bunch of categories lined up, and whoever has more of a certain stat gets that stat in green, and then at the very bottom it shows who won more categories, supposedly showing who's a better player between the two? Like, there are times where I see posts and videos like this on Instagram or on Twitter that give the edge to a player because they average like 0.5 more assists per game. Like, I get it, technically it is more, but it's just not even significant enough to call out. If the difference between two players in a certain stat is less than 1 or 2 points, rebounds, or assists per game, if we're talking about steals, if it's like less than a half per game, I would just call that stat a tie. But me personally, and I've said this before, I've just strayed away from using this method of comparing players altogether because it's easier and better to compare players using the context of their stats and their situations than to look at stats, count up who has more categories, and do it that way. Now, am I saying that being a better all-around player is a bad thing? No, not at all. Being versatile, especially in today's game, is a big part of the game, and it's nothing to be shoved aside. But what I'm saying is, I would honestly just rather look at how a player is leading their team, affecting team success, and how they perform in big games, than look at stats when comparing players, because there is more context given out in that sense than just looking at a bunch of numbers on Basketball Reference. Give him more time. You know what they say. Time is money. While I do get that young players do deserve some sort of leniency, as you can't just expect these guys to be in their prime their first couple of years and be NBA superstars out the gate, there are some certain players in the league where, like, damn, I get that you're young, but you've been in the league long enough for us to see some sort of improvement, or some sort of major improvement. Take, for example, Andrew Wiggins. He's only 23, gonna be 24, I get that. But damn, you were the #1 draft pick, expected to be a generational talent, and I'm dead ass here thinking you may have peaked in high school, because in 4 years, you've shown minimal improvement in your game, aside from points per game, where I'm not even sure if you're actually improving or just getting a lot more touches, because as soon as you were back to the third option, you just couldn't score efficiently. And the same goes with guys like D'Angelo Russell, Justice Winslow, Miles Turner. Like, man, I get that you're young, but it seems like ever since your rookie year, everyone's been expecting some sort of significant leap, and it just hasn't happened yet. Who's more valuable to their team? Take off both players from their teams. What happens? Who's more valuable? What does that even mean? Who's more valuable? Valuable is such an ever-changing thing. Star players on a bad team will obviously be more valuable than a star player on a good team. You take Jimmy Butler, a guy who is very valuable to the Timberwolves, and he's made that loud and clear to the whole organization the past couple of days, and put him on Team USA. I guess he becomes less valuable? Put it this way, because I always heard this in 2017 when it came to Russell Westbrook and Stephen Curry. For the sake of the argument, let's say Russell Westbrook is more valuable than Stephen Curry. Let's just agree on that statement for now. Russell Westbrook is more valuable than Stephen Curry. But now let's switch Russ and Steph's situation. Russ is now on the Warriors, and Steph is on the Thunder carrying this squad while Russ has KD, Klay, and Draymond. Is Curry now all of a sudden, in a blink of an eye, more valuable than Westbrook? Just because he's on a worse team than Curry? Switch KD and LeBron. Now who's more valuable? Look, all I'm saying is, talking about value is just stupid because it's so situational and is often used to prove why one player is better than the other, but it's just so flawed because, like I said, it's just based on their situation. A good player on a bad team is going to be more valuable than a good player on a good team, but that does not necessarily make you a better player or a more valuable player. But anyways, I told y'all I was going to rant this video, and so I did. I think this is a vacuum. There's a vacuum. Okay. College life. Anyways, just try to ignore that. I hope y'all enjoyed it, and if y'all did, go ahead and leave a like on this video. Once again, let's try to get this video to 4,000 likes. I know that is a big goal, but I think y'all can do it, man. I trust y'all. And once again, follow me on Instagram at BSouls. I'm trying to interact with you guys more as me, you know, the person, Brian, instead of BSouls, the guy that makes the basketball videos. Even though the IG's name is B Souls, I get it, and you know, it's kind of hypocritical. But fun fact, the name B Souls actually came before the channel name because people were calling me B Souls in high school, and then I made the YouTube channel in like sophomore year. So, you know, just a little fun fact. But with that being said, I hope y'all enjoyed this video, and I'm out. Peace.